Once again, though, no one seemed to be paying all that much attention, so after a moment of furtive examination of those nearby, he relaxed. Okay, beautiful, I'd done the public thing with your makeup on. Satisfied? Sure, she said, showing hesitation that belied her words. Oh, Logan said, his grin showing typical good humor. What now? Jayla looked at her husband, specifically at the makeup she had so artfully applied under the promise that they would only visit a darkened movie theater, and tried to decide how noticeable, how striking to use his word, he would be in a more open setting. He really did look good. If it weren't for tradition, men would be flattered if they could be as attractive as he was. Heck, there were women, lots of them, who didn't look as good as he did, though her technique truly had only enhanced what was already there, and that subtly. Earth to Jayla, what's going on in there? Oh, nothing. I was just wondering. This time he gave her a prod to continue her dangling thought. A literal prod, with a finger in her ribs, as well as a verbal one. What are you wondering about? I really shouldn't ask. Ask what you want. Like I said, I'll do anything for you. Jayla laughed, but there was a longing still in her eyes. She said, anything? Now Logan laughed, but he nodded. Even though it sounds like the opening to a bad novel, I mean it. Sure you do. Why, the next thing you know I might have you living in the doghouse wearing nothing but a leather collar. Again, he said, snickering. Oh, you. You know I'd never do that. I like having you in my bed too much. Logan quickly stuck out his hand and said, deal. She slapped at his hand, then moved in behind it to hug him anyway. Seriously, would you really do anything I asked? If I could, he replied, serious now himself. What do you want? Oh, I don't know, she answered in a frustrated tone. I truly love you, and there isn't anything that really bugs me a lot, but... But what? Jayla shrugged. I'm just quirky. Do you expect an argument from me? He asked, squeezing her. What? Oh. No, not really, she said, smiling at his barb. I just, well, I guess I need to think about it for a while. Whatever. I'm not worried. You're not, she asked, looking up at his highlighted eyes. That's a pretty blank check you've handed me. Logan surprised her with a question she didn't think he needed to ask. Do you love me? Of course. Don't you know that by now? Yes, I do. And that's the point. You wouldn't do anything to hurt me, certainly not deliberately. If you ask for something that would be too hard for me, I'll tell you. And I trust you to respect that. So I haven't really promised anything I consider risky, except in ways that I make risky by not sharing myself with you clearly enough. I love you, she purred, laying her head on his chest. Yep, and I love you, which is, as I said, the point. After a too short moment, just long enough to taste the warmth of being in his arms without really absorbing it, she raised her head again and asked, so, what do you want in return? Nothing. No, really, she persisted. I'd like to show you the same sort of love you give to me. I'm glad, but I'm not doing this as some sort of negotiating position. I do it because I love you, and you don't have to pay me for that love. So, there's nothing I could do for you? Logan laughed and said, goodness, no. There's lots of things you could do for me. Lots of things you do for me. I just don't want to cheapen them by making them something you owe me. I cherish them because you give them to me even when I don't deserve them. Like what, specifically? Like, specifically, if you have to ask, then you need to pay more attention to me. Figure it out for yourself. I'm sure I'll be pleased. Oh, pooh. That's not fair, Jayla declared, showing a pout that had literally made her $1 million. He was unfazed. Probably, but like I said, this is not some sort of negotiated deal. It's a total commitment. You tell me what you want, and I'll try to make it happen. The pout vanished from her full lips, transformed into a teasing grin as an idea came to her. Would you consider going out to dinner? Now? She smiled and said, "Yes, that is what I had in mind." "You think I look okay?" "I think you look terrific," she said firmly. "But I don't want you to be uncomfortable, and I truly don't know what others will think." "That's part of the problem." Logan looked at her for a moment, trying to gauge the degree of her desire. And it occurred to him that he didn't understand the basic need that was driving her. "Why do you care?" "I thought you just wanted to see how your makeup looked on a redhead. What you did is subtle enough that even on a guy it didn't cause any particular problem, so it would for sure work on a woman. What else do you need to know?" "I don't know," admitted Jayla. "I just have this, I don't know, urge to push it a bit further." "Planning to open a new line of makeup for men?" "No, not really. There already are some, you know. But that market is pretty small and probably will continue to be small. Of course, I can remember when men didn't wear earrings, so I'm sure that someday men will break the makeup barrier, too, but I don't see that happening anytime soon." "So, what's the big deal then?" Jayla pouted a little, frustrated in not being able to scratch the mental itch that was bothering her. "Maybe I just like the way you look," she finally said. "Or maybe I just want to show you off a little. My trophy husband." "Now that is a strange idea," Logan said, laughing. "The supermodel with the computer geek on her arm, and I am supposed to be the trophy? Get real." "I was never a supermodel," she said. "Just a working girl with a sense of what real-world women need." "Well, you're pretty super to me," Logan said, making the obligatory claim. "And if you want to go get something to eat, I can stand it." They ended up in a salad and burgers place they both liked, modeled on an American graffiti diner, though the trendy salads were hardly authentic from the period. It was, however, as brightly lit as a 50s diner with lots of windows. Logan went to snag a booth, then tried to look inconspicuous while Jayla ordered. It didn't really work. He noticed a few islands of whispering, accompanied by quick glances that were dropped when he looked back. Jayla had noticed, too. "We shouldn't have come here," she whispered as she sat facing him. "It'll be all right," he replied, smiling. "You don't mind?" He shrugged and said, "I don't enjoy the sense of being gawked at like an oddity, but I can deal with it. Just don't start doing the same thing yourself." "Oh, Logan, I'm sorry. I really didn't mean for this to happen." "Don't worry about it," he said, patting her hand. "It could be a lot worse." "Well, promise Jayla, I won't ever ask you to do this again." "It's not that big a deal," Logan reassured her. "Do you think I've suddenly turned into a freak?" "No," she declared fiercely, for all that she kept her voice low. "I still think you look terrific. I just wish other people would let us do what we want without judging us." "A noble sentiment," he said, lifting his glass, cardboard cup, to her in toast. "Oh, you," Jayla said, tears forming in her eyes. "You really are special, you know?" "I'm glad you think so." They ate in silence for a while, quickly finishing their simple meal. "Ready to go?" Logan asked. "Very much so," Jayla replied, pulling out her lipstick to repair the damage from their meal. "Do I need to do that, too?" her decorated husband asked, grinning. "Yes, as a matter of fact," she said, smiling back at him. "But I seem to have forgotten to bring your shade of lipstick with me." "Too bad," he replied, laughing in a way that banished any concerns, even those that were actually making Jayla feel guilty. Still, when they got back to their home, she was unhappy. "I truly am sorry, Logan. I never meant for you to feel uncomfortable." "I know that, beautiful. But you have to realize that I don't care about anyone else's opinion of me, just yours." "Are you embarrassed to have been seen with whatever I looked like?" "No. Just the opposite, in fact. I was so proud that you would, indulge me like that, even at some cost to yourself. And I still think you look terrific." "Then that's the end of any guilt. We had a good time. It might not have been exactly what we expected, but that's part of what made it a fun evening." She looked at him in surprise. "You had fun?" "Sure. It was certainly different. No ruts around you, milady." Nor me when I'm with you. So, are you going to do it again? Ah, well, he stammered, blushing. Okay, you caught me. I'd do it if you want me to, but I can't say that I would get all made up just for my own amusement. Then he chuckled and said, after all, we've done this now. It wouldn't be different to do it again. Ah, well, she said, mimicking him, I guess I'll have to think up something else, then. I'm sure you will. She helped him clean off everything, showing him ways to cleanse and moisturize his skin that were good ideas for men, too, and then they went to bed. In the morning, while he was packing for that week's trip, he slipped a couple of extra items into his bags. Unknown to him, she was making her own plans for the week, and for his return at the end of it. The pile of things he had placed by the door included his flying gear, so as he got ready to leave, she said, "You're taking your plane?" Logan nodded and said, "Yes. That way, I won't have to fight for a flight out. I'm not sure just when we'll finish. If I get the job, it will be Friday morning before I can leave, mid-afternoon before I get back. Of course, if they tell me to take a hike, I'll be back on Tuesday. I guess I'll just have to plan on a surprise for Friday, then." "Thanks for the vote of confidence," he said, hugging her. "You really are good for my ego." "Even after last night?" she asked, frowning. "Especially after last night," he declared. "And yesterday afternoon, and, oh, lots of times." Jayla slapped his arm, but the frown disappeared and a bright smile replaced it. With a final wave, Logan gathered up his bags and left. She stood in the doorway until his car was out of sight, and while he noticed the gesture, he was too far away to see her expression clearly. If he had, he would have seen a frown of concentration near her eyes despite her happily upturned lips. Behind those eyes, her own plans were churning rapidly. So much in me that's new. It was indeed Friday when McDaniel flew back to his home city. There was a small office in the hangar where he stored his plane, an immaculate though 30-year-old Cessna 310. He used the washroom in the office to prepare a gift for Jayla before calling her and telling her he was on his way. Though it was only early afternoon when he stepped from the garage into his house, the drapes were drawn and the lights off so that the rooms were dim though not really dark. "Jayla? Beautiful? Where are you?" "I'm home." God, how corny, he thought as he set down his gear and started looking for her. When he had called from the airport, she had promised to be home. In fact, she had said she had a gift for him. "Jayla," he called again, walking down the hall. "In here," he heard, coming from the bedroom. Stepping through the door, he saw a carefully arranged scene, though for once there was little of Jayla's trademark subtlety. Of course, her inspiration had not been terribly subtle either. Jayla had recreated the scene from the movie they had seen, where the hero finds the damsel in distress. She was wearing an artfully torn t-shirt modeled on the one worn by the movie heroine. Her shorts were, if anything, even shorter than those in the movie, and Logan knew she had altered the ones she wore because none had been that brief before. Even her hair was styled with a sultry, one-eye hidden tease that extended an invitation he was definitely willing to accept. The crowning touch, though, was that his lovely, disheveled wife held her hands behind her back. "Have you come to rescue me, my hero?" she asked, her voice low and playful. Logan would have been happy to say yes, if only he could have formed words at that moment. Of course, to have done so would require that his jaw pick itself up off the floor. And for that to happen, his tongue would have to be gathered up and put back into his mouth. So he didn't waste any time with words. Jayla's first evidence of his own gift to her was the unexpected feel of lipstick sliding on lipstick when they kissed. It surprised her enough that she pulled her head back and looked at her husband's face in the romantically dim light. "You're wearing makeup. And you're wearing handcuffs," he countercharged. "I did it for you," she explained, tugging at her bound wrists. "After the way you reacted to that movie, I figured you'd find it, interesting. To say the least," he said, turning her so he could see her hands. "Where's the key? I'll let you loose." Instead of answering, she had a question of her own she considered higher priority. "Why are you wearing makeup?" "I just wanted you to know that I wasn't really upset about wearing it last week," Logan explained, still examining the cuffs. Jayla spun from his grasp and turned to face him. You weren't? No, love, he said, smiling. I told you I wouldn't do it just for myself, but I don't mind all that much, and I do. Anything for me, she finished for him. Jayla tried to reach for him to give him a hug, but her arms were still restricted. Ooh, damn, she said, laughing at her self-imposed problem. I already asked how to take those off, he reminded her. Don't they excite you? She asked, letting her body mold itself to her husband in a playful wriggle. When you came in the room, it seemed you were, interested. It was just a, surprise. Jayla rubbed her waist against him and said, I'm not sure all of you agrees with that. Don't you want me to let you loose? Sure, she said airily. Then her voice dropped back into a sultry whisper as she said, eventually. Any further comment she might have made was stifled by the painted lips that once again danced on hers as his arms came down to complete her embrace. Again, her own arms tried to move around him as well, and again it was a futile effort. His fingers, though, were very much free and started to dance along the torn edge of her t-shirt, then under it. Jayla moaned and leaned back to give him better access even as her hips pushed harder against his. This shirt is already torn, she gasped out an implied suggestion. Why, so it is, Logan agreed, freeing it without the need to release her arms. Her shorts followed quickly, then his fingers were scrabbling at his own clothing. It broke their embrace for a moment, though, as he stood back to take off his own shirt. Looking at him fumbling in his haste, and unable to do anything to help, Jayla laughed instead. This would be silly if it weren't so much fun, she observed. Are you really having fun? Logan asked. Yes, she said. It's sort of awkward, of course, and distracting, but it's also kind of fun. I like the feeling of, needing you. And yet, you seem to be the one who is helpless right now. Clumsy. Her husband laughed as he finished undressing. He reached for her again, a bit more in control of his passions than driven by them, and wrapped his arms around her. He tugged at her cuffs, a question lifting one neatly contoured brow. Would you let me wear them, just this once? She asked. You really want to? I think so. I don't think I could lay back on them, though, so. So we'll work something out, he declared. And they did. Later, he asked her, did you enjoy that? Did you? She countered. If you have to ask, I must not have been doing it right, he laughed, then he got serious again and asked again, but the cuffs. Did you like wearing them? Yes, though I'm not sure exactly why. I think it was because they're different. But I have to admit, my arms are aching a bit now. Oh, I'm sorry. Where's the key? I'll get them off you in just a second. I shouldn't have let it go this long. Gee, I think I said something similar the other night. Huh? I seem to remember saying I shouldn't have made you go out to dinner while you had makeup on. You didn't really make me. I could have told you no. And? He grinned ruefully at her and said, okay. And you could have told me no about this. Jayla's bright smile lit up even the now dark room as she slid off the bed. The keys are in my jewelry box, over here. As Logan was working the cuffs off her wrists, he said, there is an important difference, though. These things are hard and could hurt you. A little embarrassment is not much of a risk. Don't be so sure, she said, massaging her arms once they could move. Some people would die before they'd look like a fool in public, men especially, and even more so if the foolishness undermined their masculinity. Do you think I'm less masculine because I decorated my face to please you? No, she affirmed again. I already told you that I like it. But not if it hurts you. Like these cuffs hurt you? He asked, holding them up. Actually, they were, exciting. I mean, they were frustrating at times, and a little uncomfortable, especially toward the end. But for some reason, taking my arms out of the loop really made the rest of me seem, I don't know, hypersensitive. Really? Yeah. I think it's like what they say about blind people hearing better or something. Knowing I couldn't, reach out and touch you made me really aware of the ways you were touching me. Oh. If you say so, Logan said doubtfully. Sometime you'll have to try it, she said, winking at him. Well, maybe. Anything for me? She challenged him with his words. Oh, yeah. He stammered, frowning. Lighten up, lover, she said, offering him relief from his inner struggle. I don't really want you to do it, unless you want to. Right now, I don't even want to use those things again, but I have a feeling I will someday. She turned a light on and then laughed. Well, best beloved, you certainly made a mess of your so interesting makeup. Why don't you freshen it up while I, freshen up? Why, are we going out again? Not unless you want to. No, not really. Driving home from the airport was bad enough. I guess, since you like it so much, I sort of like getting made up, but it's for your eyes only. And I really appreciate it. You don't even have to, redo it if you really don't want to, though. Just make sure you get your face clean. Sure, Logan replied, but he seemed distracted. When Jayla came back from the bathroom, she found him sitting at her vanity busily painting away. I thought you were going to take all that stuff off? He looked up in surprise. I thought you wanted me to fix it up. No, I didn't. I told you to just clean your face well. No, you said I could do that, if I wanted, but first you said. Look, this doesn't matter. I thought you wanted me to do myself up again, but were offering me an out if I really didn't want to.